everyone, welcome back. If you caught my last video, you might have heard me mention a Rebel Moon companion guide that Netflix has developed, and it is online. Maybe you've seen it. If not, I think it's really cool and you should check it out. I might go through it. There might be more than one video to cover it because it's not super long, but I think it might be a little long for one video. But if you're new to the channel, thank you for checking it out, and don't forget to like and subscribe before you leave if you enjoy my content. So this Rebel Moon companion guide, it's really cool, interactive, and it has these beautiful graphics and stuff, and you kind of just scroll through and it changes as you go. It breaks down the different worlds that are included in the Rebel Moon universe and the main characters that we see in the movie. Now, at the beginning of companion guide, it gives you a warning. First thing you see is spoilers ahead. So there are some things that could potentially be spoilerish for the director's cut of part 1. This companion guide covers part 1 only, A Child of Fire. So I'm guessing they'll have another one for part 2 as well. But this covers part 1. However, since we haven't seen the director's cut yet, some of the things in here could be considered spoiler. So just a warning before we get into it, okay? Alright, so it starts off, welcome to a sprawling universe of warring factions and deep history, teeming strongholds and backwater villages. From the heart of Motherworld to the outskirts of the unknown galaxy beyond the reach of the Imperium, this is your guide to Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon. Alright, so we start off with Motherworld. Motherworld lies at the heart of the Imperium, a decaying empire in the middle of a planetary system revolving around twin suns. Moa is the Imperium throne world, a harsh environment full of sniping politicians and military machinations and powered by arcane technologies. Its rulers' hunger for the galaxy's resources only grows as they devour everything in their path. And we did hear Zack and some other cast members and the co-writer talk about how in the director's cut, the opening of the movie is really a lot more focused on the Motherworld and giving more in-depth insight into all of that part of the universe. On Motherworld, 1,886 kings ruled in unbroken succession, so that's how long this royal bloodline has been ruling for, these different kings. Now, the one that we have seen and we'll see more of is the Slain King. We heard him referred to as the Slain King in the movie. He is the last monarch of the Old Kingdom, was initially hell-bent on a ruthless expansion of power, but the birth of his daughter Princess Issa radically changed how he saw his kingdom's place in the universe. This shift to a more peaceful relationship with the galaxy led to a murderous coup serving the royal bloodline, and we'll see more of that in the director's cut, obviously, and see what happened to the royal family. Now, Princess Issa, the radiant heir to the throne of the Motherworld, was prophesied to reset her crumbling warlike kingdom, but her growing influence over her father disturbed the ruling class and a group of senators, including the future regent Belisarius, overthrew and murdered Issa and her father, bringing an end to the peaceful prophecy that surrounded her and the reign of the royal family. So that's what we're going to see in the director's cut. In the PG-13 version, we hear that there was some kind of well, we don't know if it was a coup, but it was alluded to when Jimmy says that they were murdered by those closest to them, who they trusted the most. And so it sounds like that's what happened, but we don't get the details of who or what or how. And, obviously Cora feels a lot of guilt over not protecting Issa. So there's Regent Belisarius. Military hero turned politician, Belisarius created a coalition of senators and other powerful interests who stewed over the increasing benevolence of their king. When the king christened a vast imperial dreadnought as a vessel of peace, they seized their opportunity and removed him from the throne. So they did not agree with this more peaceful path that he wanted to go down with the kingdom. They did not want it to be that way, which is why they, tried to, this was why they killed him. Following the brutal assassination that wiped out the royal family, corrupt dignitaries claimed power. The Slain King's disarmament campaign was brought to a brutal halt, and in its place rose a new and unforgiving regime. The story of Rebel Moon picks up 5 years later. So by the time we see part 1, it's already been 5 years since this has happened. And that's obviously the people in power that we see in the film. So there we see Admiral Noble and the scribes behind him and his group of soldiers. Atticus Noble. True to his name, Admiral Atticus Noble is the son of a noble family from Motherworld. Cruel and unwilling to compromise, the Imperium official stalks the realm in search of rebels. He brings the full force of the King's Gaze, his mighty dreadnought, which we hear him refer to a couple of times in the movie, down on any far-flung place like Velt that dares to abet his prey. And on the side, we see some information about him. Lineage, he was born on Moa, the central planet of Motherworld. Training, graduate of the Academy Militarium, the elite preparatory school of Motherworld's military forces. His bone staff, which we see him use in the film, and we'll probably see him use a lot more in a more graphic way in the director's cut. Noble carries a holy relic purported to come from the first kings of Motherworld. He uses it as a blunt instrument of control and destruction. Now, there's a couple of little clips here that you can listen, audio clips you can listen to here that Zack is talking about that topic or explaining more about it, but for the sake of time, I'm not going to play them during the video. But if you scroll through and listen to it, or scroll through and read through this, you can listen to the things that Zack goes in depth. We've heard them in other videos from him, talking about different things from the movie, and that's what they're taken from. Okay, moving on to the priests and the scribes. Okay. These are very interesting characters to me. The priests of the Imperium are the enigmatic keepers of Motherworld knowledge and religion, techno-disciples of its data-obsessed religion, a crucial component to Motherworld's power. The scribes holistically record events in supreme fidelity, downloading the data into pages, human beings, whose prepared DNA holds libraries of the realm's recorded history. Scribes are the ultimate witness to the majesty and tragedy of the Imperium's will to power. So I think that's very interesting, and I think hopefully we'll see more of actually how that happens, because I think that's a very interesting thing to have in this universe, and an interesting way of recording history. So that's why we see them following Admiral Noble, and kind of they're just like following him around, and they're just recording everything that's happening. And of course we have Jimmy, who I think, as I suspected before the movie, a lot of people have really taken a liking to, including myself, and I can't wait to see more of him. Their technical name is JC-1435. That's his technical name. A mechanical knight-errant sworn to protect the now deposed royal family. Newly without purpose, this Jimmy is adrift in the world, lifting boxes for Noble's military task unit left behind on Velt. And that's kind of what they have become, since they don't really have a purpose anymore, since the royal family is no longer alive. They don't really have anything to protect. And so that's why they, like Zack has described, they kind of become, forklifts. The military kind of just uses them to move stuff around and don't really fight back anymore like the way they used to. But then we see that this Jimmy obviously kind of goes against that and, spoiler alert, kills one of the Motherworld soldiers, the Imperium soldiers, that is trying to assault a young girl, Sam. And so he's special, he's different, right? Now, some information about him, or these robots. The Jimmys are robotic bodyguards built to protect the royal bloodline and vigilantly wait for the return of the mythical Princess Issa. After the death of the royal family, they laid down their arms and refused to fight any longer. They're also limited edition. So created centuries ago, there were originally only 12 Jimmys. Later, their numbers grew into the thousands. So they didn't start out with many, and that there's not really many left either. In the wake of the royal family's assassination, the Jimmys wander and even disappear. At times, they have been repurposed by the Imperium for physical labor and grunt work. So I wonder, it says disappear. I wonder what happens to the ones that disappear. How do they just disappear? So we have like a little diagram here of what they look like. And then if we click on learn more, we see what's under their armor. The Jimmy's ornate armor includes chalice symbols of Issa the Life Giver, for whose return they vigilantly watch. Surrounding the chalice are the intertwined wolf and the worm, whose battle is part of Motherworld's cosmic creation myth. They're bound to an endless cycle of hunger, hunting, and consequence. So that's what is under their armor, like what they represent. Like the cosmic wolf, the Imperium now prowls through the stars, gobbling up planets and resources. This ravenous appetite has outpaced the Imperium's supply, leading to an endless hunt that leads them further and further away from Moa. So they are continuing to go farther and farther away from their home, from the central planet of the Motherworld, to find and take resources. We'll leave off there with this video that covers the Motherworld part of this companion guide. So the next part we'll cover, we'll start with Velt and start getting into the characters as that are in that section, starting with Korra. And if you guys want to get caught up on anything else on the channel that you've missed recently, you can head over to my channel and, you know, check things out. And as well as the short section if you're interested. But thank you guys for the support. We'll continue to dive into this guide. In the meantime, thank you for the support. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you soon.